What's up, y'all? I'm Taking Ship Out More. Welcome to Where Our Travelers Simply Glow. So, today's episode, we're going to get into some things right quick. So, for season 3, episode 7 of the Confidence Catalyst, what I really want us to focus on. Hold on, let me fix my lipsticks. I know somebody. I guess people really want to know what's in your bag, but I have my little compact mirror. I do that, so if I'm ever stuck out and about somewhere, this is a little bonus content that I just kind of, do that little one two a little bit. So I keep that there for the girlies who are curious. That's what you have to do. Okay. And I have my little keep my little ponies and things like that. Nice and together. So it's a little very basic, boring pocketbook, if you will. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna kind of put y'all here right quick. Okay, a little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. All right. So again, now I'm moving this, and it's probably definitely not to be. Your sound is broken. We don't hear what you talk about. And I get it. Okay. So, nonetheless, okay. Again, because somebody got to be doing some stuff. But anyway, so for what I want to talk about today is how we can really feel like, we cleaning some things and whatnot, and we like, what does that have to do with showing how much you are really devoted to me or anything else that I'm thinking about? Or why does that even matter? What does that have to even do with me? You don't care. I just cleaned for like 6 hours straight. And I don't what? So that's one of the things that you can find. Some people love languages, which is 5 of them. And some of them are affirmations. There's certain like acts of kindness, whether there's gifts or things of that nature. I will see if I can look up the 5 love languages. And it should only be, all right, so it says receiving gifts, physical touch, words of affirmation, quality time, and acts of service. So cleaning definitely falls underneath the green one, which is acts of service. I will try to let y'all see what I'm talking about. Here it is. Okay. So, what is that about and what does that entail? So, cleaning as a way to show devotion. Because, what's really even worse about this is that when you really are kind of sort of realizing that people don't even care about your devotion or people don't really want to care about your devotion in their life, that is such a backward mentality to have as a mindset. And it will never take you further than anywhere than what you are now until you change your attitude. That's so cliche, but it's extremely clutch. And when you think about how people really can clean for hours on end just to show you how much they love you, that is really where we're going to focus today. So we're going to forget all the other 4 and just focus on that one acts of service. And that's something that I have really come to figure out as that's really what motherhood is all about. That's really what being a young woman is about. That's really what being a wife is about. That's really where the contracts are signed when it comes to dealing with that particular type of attitude. That is really what's being said for real, for real. That is kind of sort of in a nutshell. That is a really big part of growing up and being an adult. I do apologize for that, but I had to kind of have a nail moment to myself. So anyway, yeah, cleaning as acts of service. And it's it's really true because acts of service, when I'm really trying to figure out what I want to convey, and when I think about how achieving that can give devotion, but showing devotion and stepping up enough to actually create that clean environment that says devotion, speaks loudly, and much more than necessarily, so to speak, feeling like somebody keeps getting something for nothing. If you're at a space and you're not cleaning it, then basically you're getting something for nothing. And that is a human flaw and weakness that is frowned upon. It's not really something that is considered a plus nor positive. And I don't really see that changing anytime soon as a near foreseeable future. And I don't really feel like anything is wrong with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's not really where I'm at. I don't really feel like that's a real. Anyway, when it comes to find out that people really can show you who they are through their devotion spirit. So a devotion spirit looks clean. It really is. And sometimes I did hear that we can seriously feel like our spaces are a certain type of way and still hate cleaning the process. Like the other day, I was doing some cleaning for our family, and I can tell that it was something that was needed, that was necessary. And I didn't do it all. I did before, but this particular moment in time, I can tell that that was not really something that was wanted. Like, you knew that some things really needed to be done, and that was a way that I can help and really put that energy out there. And then there was other moments where I knew that anything else over the top for now was just something that was extra. And that's really how I felt about it, because that's how clean it was. And that's how I really was able to put my foot in that. But I knew that by doing those things, that was going to set a certain tone. And you know what? I really liked that. I thought that was something that was really positive, really fun, and really flowing, and really a moment that I shined and that I allowed myself to shine. And they really are right. Showing up is different from actually stepping up. And that's so true. I find myself in many a times where I'm working and wherever I find myself, especially more so lately though, whether it's home or at another professional space, and I'm feeling like, what is going on with myself? And if I have a moment and I'm really able, and this happens most when I'm dealing with trash. And I'm gonna sound so weird, but if I'm really trying to figure out how to get my trash to have more in it, and I get into a space and I step up to make the trash more compressed so that I can fit a little more in it. I didn't just show up today and just walk around and parade myself around like people assume that I did. You know what I mean? And I also see moments where people will take that to the extreme. They'll step up so and end up falling and, going way overboard too. It's funny, but at the same time, there is a soberness to this particular type of reality that we have to face nonetheless, even when things are extremely funny. And I love to laugh. I know I love smiling. You know that about me. You know that that's something that brings me happiness. So I'm not always really trying to be around with a stank face or, broken nails or like, you know what I mean, ugly faces and weird lipsticks and whatever else. I really love looking pretty and having that mentality about myself as a mindset. So that's why I say this is where we put the glow in that particular type of energy. You have a cute mindset, and we are helping you put that cute and your confidence as clients. We are really stepping into that generation of young women who come out glowing because they think prettily. They handle themselves in a pretty manner that's confident and is cute. And that particular attitude allows you to experience that pretty privilege or that princess treatment or being in that room where people speak highly of your name instead of always wanting to mispronounce it. So that energy there of itself, and there really is no more precious type of sound than a man or woman's name. So, that's really another point too. And as we get back to slavery times and we see that they strip us of our name, they break that name down and give it something else. And as I'm into this new space, I realize now that people wish to break my stride as I'm moving towards things. The same way they choose to break me by choosing to continuously make a noun as into a name mispronounced. And when they do those things, it just shows you that there's a lack of character and a lack of respect there that's proper, just based off one's intelligence. And by doing those things, they really reveal that those people are not as devoted. as some of the other more intelligent people choose to manifest themselves as. And when you really have a moment to pay attention to those things, take inventory. And then when you realize that something like that is happening, eventually your room is going to change. And you will find that, wow, yeah, I am in a new space. Wow, okay. Yeah, this room is more in harmony, sincerely, with the things that I'm thinking about. Oh, wow, I'm really happy here. Yes, I am. Thank you. And by the time that you have that moment there, you've been so prepared for it, it feels just as natural as putting on a pair of pants. So, when you really feel like you've hit that spot where your friends are cool, people are devoted to you, they care about you and your spirit, they deserve the call. They deserve the things that are physical reflections of the time that they put in, that energy that they've invested into creating those particular types of devoted scenarios and moments. And I don't really think nothing is wrong with that. I really feel like that's a moment where we have to learn that type of contentment in order to manifest that particular idea that we hold in mind. So, yes, I'm definitely here for that particular energy, cleaning as a way to communicate devotion. And I'm going to say this too for the girlies who are so saddened by their lives that they feel as though they cannot carry out this particular type of idea and problem. Again, and so, you know, it is sad that we actually have to deal with these particular types. Don't keep bugging me. I need to focus. All right. Anyway, this is how I have to end this, and I know this is going to be kind of trying. Um, so I'm just gonna spit it out. I'm just gonna have to break the band-aid right on off. Nonetheless, so for the girlies who feel like shame in showing devotion to someone, especially if you feel like a family member is expecting you to pick sides or something like that, and so you get kind of sort of fearful and resonates and resonate that as dealing with a particular type of scariness of fear or whatever the case is and things like that. you know there is a moment where you have to decide that fear is something that you are not going to tolerate. And once you get to that point, whenever you find yourself at that point, you can really hunker in and down and really like just make sure that this is something that you can't overcome and deal with. Now, I'm going to say this too as well before we end this video, that there is moments and times where you are going to feel as though you've gotten weakened because of your thoughts and decisions, or you are going to feel as though you've gotten stronger because of the exact same incident as well. Now, when you are on either side of the scale, I really pay attention to this, because when you are in that midst of a person and they have chosen a more derogatory path because of their failure to show devotion, which is love, it's basically like developing love for all humanity. Because I know that without this particular trait, okay, I'll never achieve success. And that's a self confidence. It's called a formula, and it's written by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill specifically was says, "I will develop love for all humanity because I know that a negative mental attitude towards others will never bring me success." That is what is considered the fundamentals of having a devoted thought process and mindset. That means that you love and you care. Devotion is a form of love. So anything that you find is causing you fear instead of love is cause for a reality check within yourself. So thank you so much for watching. I'm grateful that you are here. Make sure that you like and subscribe and leave us a comment about what you thought was really working. All right, talk soon.